2 p.m. No live tweeting during the broadcast section, and use the microphone provided, please, Gary.
Hello, Ange. Thanks for your time.
Hey, Gary.
Team news, really. Sonny trained on Thursday, I think. Be available to start?
Sonny got back on Wednesday. Did recovery on Thursday, but trained with the team today. He trained. Biss trained. He obviously joined up as well this week. Lo Celso trained this week. I think the only ones still out are Solomon and Sessegnon at this stage.
So with Sonny and Basuma, and to a lesser extent Lo Celso, are they going to be available?
Definitely. Sonny and Biss is. They trained well. Gio trained all week, but he's obviously missed a fair bit of football, so we'll just have to see how he is, or whether we give him another week or not. So,
correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking this potentially could be the best you've been in terms of strength of squad players to select from for the whole of the season.
Yeah, look, maybe the start of the season, first 2 or 3 games, I thought we kind of only sort of reference it from, kind of training and that. But it's probably the sort of the, for want of a better word, the healthiest squad we've had for quite a while anyway. Yeah.
That's a nice dilemma then, isn't it? Having a problem who to play rather than trying to find players to fill places.
Much more preferable, yeah, absolutely.
Can I ask you about Mickey van der Ven? He's sprinted his way into the record books. Fastest player in Premier League history since records began, only 4 years, but that's all we got to go on. I guess you're not surprised. How important is that to you?
Yeah, look, obviously we kind of knew what we were getting with Mickey from a physical perspective. There's plenty of evidence that we'd already seen that he was obviously his speed and his ability to recover was elite for sure. But then you still got to it's not just about running fast. I won't say it. Football's it'll get the headlines. Football's more than that. It's more than just speed of running. You've actually got to use that in the right way. And I've been really impressed with just the way he's adapted to Premier League football. He's up against the top strikers every week, and obviously he was out injured, but when he's played, and his ability to use that speed in such an effective way in terms of his defensive work, I think has been outstanding for a young man in first year of, and don't forget, before he came to us, he's only had 1 year in the Bundesliga. So there's so much more to come from him. But I've been really pleased with just the way he's gone up to this level and used what he has as his strengths.
I think I was in the Brentford game 10 days ago. He's only just really back from injury. Do you kind of grimace a bit when he injects that?
No, you can't think of it that way. I mean, it's his game, and look, obviously, he had the injury at Chelsea, and there's always a possibility with, knock on wood, with high performing athletes. But he had a really good rehab program, and he hasn't missed a beat since he got back. And obviously, if we had more games in this period or shorter turnarounds, probably last week we kind of pushed it to the maximum with such a short turnaround between Brentford and Everton, but he got through it okay, and he's good to go.
You were a defender. Did you have a touch of the Usain Bolts about you?
Nah, I was quick. Don't look at me now, to be fair, but I was quick. It was one of my strengths. Thanks for asking, Gary. So,
down to Vishali, please.
Hi, Ange. I don't know how I'm going to follow that up, but just going back to Son, what kind of an example do you feel that he sets the team, given the fact that he had that disappointment against Jordan just a couple of days ago? He's had a long flight back from Qatar. He's already trained and he's made himself available for tomorrow's game. Yeah,
I mean, it wouldn't surprise anyone to see him sort of, be like that. Look, he was very, very disappointed with Korea's exit because they haven't won it for quite a while, and after they got past Australia, they felt when you get to semi-final stage, you feel like you're so close. But anyone who watched the tournament, he gave everything. He gave everything for his nation, and he didn't leave anyone questioning his commitment to his country. He was spent by the end of it. But, I spoke to him not long after it, and he just, he was keen to come back, get amongst the boys again. And it's great to have him back here. And it didn't surprise me that, he came back and he wanted to train straight away and be available. That's why he is the person he is.
And in terms of Brighton tomorrow, I mean, the game back in December was a crazy one, it's safe to say, 4-2. They have been quite up and down since that match. So what are you expecting from them?
Yeah, look, I don't think too much different. I mean, I know their results haven't been great, but, the identity they have, the kind of football they play doesn't change, since Roberto's been there. And that's why they're such a challenging opponent, because irrespective of their form, that they're still going to go out there and be brave on the ball, play their football, try and dominate, and we've got to be ready for that. As you said, the last game was, pretty entertaining, and I suggest tomorrow won't be a dull affair either.
And in terms of Roberto, he won't be available because he's got a touchline ban. How much of a difference does it make potentially when a manager's not available on the touchline?
I don't know. We all like to think it makes a massive difference, or otherwise why are we in our jobs? Disappointing Roberto won't be there, because I've got a lot of time for him, and obviously I've got a great respect for him. But it's kind of the existence we have as managers these days. I think I'm one card away from sitting in the stands, so I shouldn't cast judgment on others. So, disappointing you won't be on the touchline, but hopefully I'll get to say hello to him at some point.
And first of all, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for asking.
That's okay. Spurs this season have conceded a few goals late on in games, most notably last week at Wolves. How much is it now about your team not only getting in front in matches and asserting themselves, but also keeping that concentration right to the end?
It's disappointing to concede goals late. It's disappointing to concede goals early. I mean, either side of half-time's not great. Around the 70th minute mark, you get disappointed. Mate, I don't care. I really don't care. I get it. People will want to analyse it. That's fine. We're always going to be a team that scores goals or concedes goals late. So if people think that, the way we want to close out games is by going and scoring more goals. So that's not going to satisfy everyone, and certainly the statisticians heads will explode me explaining it that way. But it's just the team we want to be, and that's still the most important thing for me. I think what we haven't done so far, and what we won't do, is kind of jump at shadows of trying to sort of fix what the current potential issue is. We're still building a team here, we're still building a way of playing, and for me that's still the most important thing. It was disappointing, obviously, not to concede late last week, but overall at a difficult place, for the most part we handled it okay.
We've spoken about rule changes 2 or 3 times this season. I think I know where you're going to come from on this. Blue cards, sin bins are the latest fad after VAR and possible doing away with throw-ins and kicking the ball in. Where do you stand on blue cards and sin bins, and is it just time that people stop mucking about with football?
Like I said, I don't think people will be surprised by my thoughts. Well, I struggle to understand why this urgency all of a sudden to bring in new things. I don't know that there's that much wrong with the game as I see it. My biggest issue with the game at the moment is, like I said, VAR has changed the experience, whether that's you're a player, you're a manager, you're a supporter, whatever you are. I think it's changed the experience of football. So now I'm assuming that's a means to an end. They think that the introduction of technology is going to get us to a better place. I'm yet to be convinced about that. But beyond that, I mean, I don't know why a different colour card is going to make any difference. And I struggle with this whole taking from other sports. What I do know about other sports is that most of them are trying to introduce rules that will speed up and unclutter their game. We're going the other way, and I don't know why, because that's been always the difference of, I think, football compared to the other sports, is there's a football match always has a life of its own, and within that there's mistakes, there's flaws, there's imperfections, and other sports tend to be able to stop and start without affecting it. But even that, like I said, most of the other sports that I look across at are trying to speed up their game, make it a better sort of spectacle. I don't know why we're trying to go the other way, but again, I guarantee you I won't be the one that's kind of in the room when they're making those decisions.
And finally, one of the things VAR has stopped is necessarily fans being able to go hell for leather and celebrate a goal. Last weekend, after Arsenal's win over Liverpool, the Arsenal team and their manager got a bit of clog publicly for celebrating a win. I've seen you after Spurs wins at home, and you go around the whole ground and the songs are playing and what have you. Should teams be allowed to celebrate wins, big wins especially, without being fearful that they're going to be taken to task by the celebration police?
Yeah, I think that's why we do what we do. And you know what? Yeah, well, I guess we're running out of things to talk about if we're talking about that stuff. No of interest to me. I think people should be happy when things go well and sad when not, because that's what life's about. Anyway. Yeah.
Hi, Ange. The Mali coach said that Yves Bissouma had been suffering from malaria during the tournament. Is that something you're going to be mindful of and ease him back in,
No,
or
that's
is it
not
completely?
right. No, that's not right. He had a slight form of malaria before the tournament started, but it cleared up after the tournament started, and he had no issues after that.
So it's 100% ready to go.
nothing.
Fantastic. I think this is the first chance we've had to speak to you about Lucas Bergvall. Obviously signed a very talented young man. Is it a case of maybe being patient with him as he adapts to a new life, new culture, new football, or is he such a talented player you can probably see a bit of an impact earlier in his Spurs career?
Well, considering he's in Sweden, I reckon I'm going to have to be a little bit patient, at least 6 months or so. Mate, he's just signed for us, and we're really happy to get him in. I think he's a really talented young player. Obviously, just beginning his career. Johan and the scouting department did a lot of work with him. We met the family, great family, sort of, great kid, and let's just wait till he's got his slippers under the door here before we start kind of putting expectations around it.
Okay. And Manna Solomon, obviously waiting for him to come back. Is there any latest update? I think
he had another procedure on Monday on his knee. Nothing major, but again, just sort of, obviously he still had a bit of a problem, so probably still looking at another 2-3 weeks for him.
Thank you.
Come and finish with George from the BBC, please.
Angelo, sorry, I know Richarlison's been here a while, but his sort of Tottenham career has been stop-start. But now you've got him scoring and you've got Son back from the Asian Cup. I just wondered how pleasing that is for you, and what sort of how dangerous a partnership could that be for them two if they click, for the rest of the season? Just how good could that be for them two firing for you?
Yeah, look, obviously very important. Richie's been, and look, we've needed Richie sort of step up in Sonny's absence, because Sonny was, until he left, I'd say he was pretty much the informed sort of attacking player in the competition in terms of his goals and assists and just his general play. So with him going, Richie's really taken on that responsibility, and as I said recently, not just his goals, but his general work rate, his general play with us has been really good. So he's in a great spot, and great to get Sonny back. And obviously, Timo's getting stronger, and we've still got Brennan and Decky and Kulusevski. So it's good. It's good. We've got some real strong options in that front third. We're going to need them, not just for starter games, but to be able to change games as well, just to be able to put players on who can make an impact. I think it's going to be important for us in this run-in.
And just over the last 6 weeks, you've had various issues with players away, injuries. How well do you think the team have navigated this period for the last month? You're quite pleased with what you've got through?
Yeah, it's been okay. From the point of view of the players have given absolute maximum. In terms of our football, it's been okay. Results have been okay, but I've sort of been at pains to say that along the way, it's just something we have to deal with, and we're going to have to deal with whether it's that or other issues moving forward. And I thought the group as a whole, dealt with it, dealt with it well. It could have been very easy for us to sort of, fall into a bit of a hole or kind of make excuses, but kind of tried to maintain our standards. Didn't always reach them, but not for the want of trying. And like I said, those kind of things hopefully make you stronger moving forward.
Okay, Dan, sorry to finish this section.
Hi, Ange. At the start of December, after Bentancur hurt his ankle, you kind of wistfully said, I was looking forward to seeing him and Bissouma play together. I think you said, I had all these plans. Just wondered if you could kind of elaborate on how you see those two guys potentially working together.
Yeah, look, at least there's that possibility now. I mean, we obviously, Biss started the season really well, and he had some disruptions, some of his own doing with suspensions, and then, Rodri sort of came back, and then he got injured, and then, when Rodri was up and running, then Biss and Pape left. I mean, it's not just about those two. It's just about that midfield mix. Matters has been out. We just got Matters back. It's just, we haven't had the luxury of sort of being able to kind of come up with different kind of variations of our midfield setup, because they're all unique in their skill set, and I think it gives us a real ability to tackle sort of different kind of challenges along the way. We've had Pierre obviously in there and Skippy as well. So, I just think for us now moving forward, as much as it's great they're available for games, it's just the level of our training is going to be so much better. And that for me is always the key. I still think training is the most important thing, part of what we do at the moment, apart from obviously prepare the guys. Our training levels, even today, this first days today, really, we've had everyone in. You can just see that, everyone pushes each other, the demands are greater, and that just means people raise their level. So whether that's Rodri and Biss, or, like I said, Pape, or Matters now is getting sort of, really good shape, or Pierre, Skippy, all these guys, Gio, when he's up and running, just gives us more sort of avenues, like I said, to create a sort of midfield mix that could challenge most teams.
And do you see Bentancur primarily as a 6 or an 8?
No, I mean, I see him as a midfielder who can play, for us, and hopefully we're getting away from 6s and 8s.